music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.
This is the OkayOk live stream. To any current viewers, just a reminder, I do have my microphone on. If you have any questions, you can just type them in the chat and I will reply through the microphone. Okay, so the question is, what is this comic about? And the next one will be about James Gunn. But first of all, let me talk about what the comic is about. The title is Wendy Wonka and the Chocolate Fetish Factory. It's kind of a sexual parody of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It's not really a parody, it's a continuation of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and then it is a parody, but it is a continuation of that story. Like Willy Wonka and Charlie are in the story, but something's happened to them, and that is kind of what chapter 2 is going to be looking into. We'll figure out what happened to Willy Wonka and Charlie, and Wendy Wonka, who is Willy Wonka's like twin sister, has woken up from her coma, and she has taken over the factory. She's dangerous, she's crazy, and she's coming apart at the seams in chapter 2. She's losing control of the factory because she's this kind of crazy woman, and she's kind of reaping what she sows. Oh, okay. Better question, what fetishes is this going to have? Issue 2 is going to have cow transformations that involve like breast expansion, ass expansion. It's going to have the beginning of a weight gain. And let's see. That's about it. The main focus is starting this weight gain that's going to be carried over into multiple issues, and 2 cow transformations. And 1 cow transformation will be, this, let's see, a really intense cow transformation, and 1 will be more like a cowgirl, halfway. But both involve, like breasts getting bigger, butts getting bigger, thighs getting bigger, and what you're seeing right now is the beginning of the weight gain. So, I hope that answers your question. I have all the issues planned out. There's going to be 6 issues. The only transformation I don't have nailed down yet is the final transformation, the last issue. It's still kind of up in the air. I'm still giving it some thought as things go along. I didn't want to... I have different endings plans. I didn't want to say this is it for sure, but I've come up with multiple different endings, and we'll see which one seems to be the best and most well received as the comic goes on. I think I just combined the word along and on. Anyang. Okay. So, thoughts on the whole deal with James Gunn. I'm not too aware of what's going on with James Gunn. I think I've read that he was fired from working on Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and it was because of maybe a video that surfaced from many years ago. And okay, yeah, so it's the far right, as you'd call them, demanded that Disney fire James Gunn because of something going on. I don't know. Can you help me out, refresh my memory on what is going on with James Gunn? I saw that there's some other actors supporting him and kind of condemning what Disney's doing. I think I talked in a previous video that I do support the when I say support, I mean I just verbally support. I support okay, sorry, how to sip. I support the Me Too movement verbally. I mean, there's really not much I can do about it. I'm not like an activist, but I was talking about the Louis C.K. incident and how I don't agree with how Louis C.K. has been a victim of the Me Too movement. The details of that story seemed to be kind of strange. I actually don't have the details. I still have not looked up and read an article about Louis C.K. But I don't think what happened in that situation warranted for his career to be ended. Yeah. So I think the Me Too movement is good and bad. I think it's gotten a little carried away in some instances. Alright, so now let's do this shoulder pad thing. Nice and curvy. So, Zach the Thunder King, if you have any more you want to discuss about James Gunn, then, feel free to talk to me more about it in the chat. But I don't know if I have enough knowledge about the situation to have an intelligent conversation on it. This hand is whack. For the boob. Where would the boob be on here? That's a good question. Let's see. She's leaning over. I guess this looks okay. what are your favorite TF artists? Oh, shoot. What are my favorite TF artists? That's a tough question because I can't say that I'm really knowledgeable on people's names. I can tell you the like super popular ones that I like because they've been around a long time and I know their names. Axl Rose Red. I always have a hard time figuring out how to say his name, but it's Rose Red, I think. I love Axl Rose Red. He's a very different style than I am, you know, super anime-ish, like cartoonish, but he does an excellent job with it. And we have both been around on DeviantArt for about the same amount of time, and if I can remember right, I think I remember Axl Rose Red, his like journey, his artistic style development, from beginning till now. His art has just improved by, you know, like vast amounts. And I don't mean that to sound disrespectful, but I think it's a sign of an intelligent artist that can go from, you know, pretty good, you know, good starting point, and then you see what they are in their beginning years, and then you see the now and see how much they've developed, and that shows that the artist is intentionally still learning, still seeking out knowledge and information, and open to criticism, and it's just
We are the music makers.
a good sign of the quality of an artist and how much they can improve. It shows their passion for this. Alright, so she is getting buckled in. Who else? So there's Axl Rose Red. I like him. I remember Lake Helia. That's sort of who got me. I don't look around at other artists as much as I used to, but when I started, I had a lot more time on my hands, and so I did a lot of browsing on DeviantArt. I don't do as much now, but I remember Lake Helia. I was a fan of Lake Helia. Serioja Inc., who's another guy. He's an artist I've met and I've enjoyed working with. And again, these artists are you know, very different styles than the style I use, and so I actually like seeing other art that is not good art. What you would say, like, oh, that looks like he's a really good artist, or someone who's kind of like a novice and not as skilled drawing. I actually really enjoy those kind of, like, I would almost call them like folk art, because, you know, folk art isn't like learned. It's like not really I'm gonna sound like insulting, and I don't mean to be. It's hard to describe, but it's kind of primitive almost. Like, it's not something that's been you know, developed years and years, like thousands of hours been spent on drawing, and so the style gets developed and developed and developed. Sometimes I just like very simple art that doesn't necessarily look good. Sometimes it's just like a, you know, I feel like that kind of gives hope to people who don't feel like they can draw well and don't have the time or the passion to make it a full-time hobby. But, you know, sometimes just a little sketch by someone who doesn't really know how to draw that well is what I enjoy looking at. And I think it's because I enjoy looking at stuff that makes me feel like, oh, maybe I don't have to put 10 hours into a drawing in order for it to be a good drawing. Because I'm kind of a perfectionist, and I don't always like that about myself. But I think the perfectionist inside me has developed because I really can't stand it when other people do a bad job and it messes up your life. There's been a lot of instances where people have not done their jobs right. Don't really care about their jobs or don't really have a good work ethic, and it really screws you up. Like, I don't know if you've had instances like this happen to you, but it's like the butterfly effect, where sometimes if you just think, what's it gonna hurt if I do this wrong, or if I don't put the effort into this as much as I should, or something like that. The butterfly effect happens, and you end up with cancer. Something like that. I think that's what has developed me, because something like that did happen to me a very long time ago, like growing up, and I think that's why my perfectionist side has kind of increased over the years. And now let's get back to the question that was asked. What are my favorite TF artists? I've said Lake Helia, I've said Axel Rosard, I've said Serioja Inc. Who else? I remember Bedbenders Inc. I don't know if she still is doing art or not. I haven't heard much about her, but I was always a fan of her style. And let's see, who else? A Witty Name. A Witty Name style has really developed over the years. Who else? I have to say, recently, Sketchman DL, someone pointed me in his direction. Sketchman DL is on DeviantArt, and he had done this animation, and they pointed me to him and said, you gotta watch this, and so I did, and I was so impressed. I remember wanting to get into animation when I was starting out, and animation is a big commitment. Usually you work with a team of artists on an animation, and whenever you're doing like a comic, you can do an entire comic on your own, which is a lot easier. And let's see, but Sketchman DL did it. I think he did it on his own. He said it took him a long time, and it's a lot more challenging to do animations than it is to do just regular drawings. But if you look him up on DeviantArt, you can find it. I think I have him saved in my favorites. But yeah, I'm hoping that he does some more animations soon, because it's really good. let's see. I'm trying to remember who the name of one artist. Maybe like Sleepy Tom or I can't remember. But he was an artist that Immortal Tom. He's been around forever too, since I got started. I've been looking at his work, and it's, you know, just kind of usually crazy ideas and ideas that, you know, charge the imagination. Alright, so I need to make this look like it's getting squeezed. And these lines are not showing, these lines are not expressing this tight squeeze. So I'm gonna stop talking for a second and do some drawing. Let my hands do the talking. Talk to the hands. Alright, just for a refresher in my memory, I'm going to go through my people I watch on DeviantArt, and I guess that they're called my friends on DeviantArt. Let's see, pull up DeviantArt, my profile. Here we go. Who do I watch? A witty name. Dragonstorm. There's me. This name rings a bell. Kate Fox. She's an inspiration, but she's not a TF artist. Axel Rose Red. Bedbenders. I recognize that. See, who do I recognize? Doc Swell, but I don't know if he's active. Let's see. Harlequin 141, that name rings a bell. H of Bondage, Immortal Tom, there he is. John Maddox Smith. He's a nice guy, friends with him. Let's see. I've become friends with John Maddox Smith after one of his ideas was picked for Tales from the Crypt Keeper. Maybe issue 4? Kobe TFs. He's a good one. He's doing a lot of work. Right now that's not time demanding, and so he's putting out a lot. So if you want updates like every day and stuff, Kobe TFs is a good one to be watching. Long Rifle. Why does that name sound familiar? So as you can see, I'm watching a lot of people. Max Growth. I like Max Growth, but it's like perfectionist to even a more perfectionist degree. Upik, where's Upik? That was Upik, maybe it was up here. Upik Hort. I don't know his name, but yeah, he's a good artist. very painterly. Who else? Pizza Bagel, Plumptopia. That name sounds familiar. Ricky DeMont also sounds familiar. There's Serioja Inc. Senshi Stock. Why? No, oh, okay, that's just stock photos. Shuma Gorath. I think they have comments a lot. Shy Dude. Shy Dude. Shy Dude was around when I started out. And he was an inspiration when I started out. I think I've done a collab with him without him collabing. I just took one of his pictures and drew my character on it. So he was a nice guy to let me do that. I think he's a guy. I don't know. I think he's a dude. So the padded room. Let's see. Let's gonna scroll real quick through the rest, and those are all the names I recognize. Those are who I watch. That's a good question. I've thought about doing like a little monthly. Well, this doesn't look like it's getting squeezed. I thought about doing a monthly thing where it's just, you know, content I enjoy, content I think anyone that follows me would enjoy following. So maybe I'll start doing that.